Did Winston Chi strike that? Prior to December 1998, when this happened, had Dr. Lazaroff come to you to complain about the way Winston Chi was conducting the study?
Yes.
Okay. When did he come to you the first time, if you recall?
Sorry, I don't recall the dates.
Okay. Do you recall what he said to you with regard to how the study was being conducted?
Dr. Lazaroff's chief complaint was that it was taking too much time to get the study completed. That was a major complaint, and in the same manner as Dr. Chi was very unhappy with Dr. Lazaroff, Dr. Lazaroff was very unhappy with Dr. Chi.
Okay. Let's talk about what Dr. Lazaroff was unhappy about first.
Surely.
What did he mention to you he was unhappy about?
My recollection is that Dr. Lazaroff's main complaint was that this study was taking much too much time to complete, and that it was not following the time that was allotted for in the original agreement. The other complaint that I heard from Dr. Lazaroff was that he was concerned about tissue problems, soft tissue problems occurring because graduate students who were putting in the temporary restorations were in many instances taking anywhere from 2 to 3 hours to fabricate what's called a temporary or provisional restoration, and that could have tremendous negative effects on the soft tissue.
Okay.
The other complaint was that after these restorations, these temporary restorations were put in the mouth, there were instances where there was excess cement left in the soft tissue, and all of these things that I've mentioned can contribute to soft tissue problems, whether with an implant or with a conventional restoration.
Okay. Anything else that you recall Dr. Lazaroff complained about?
Yes. He also complained about the contours of the temporary restorations that were fabricated, and felt that in a number of instances he had seen contours of temporary restorations that could also cause soft tissue problems.
Okay. Do you recall Dr. Lazaroff complaining about the failure of Dr. Chi to provide him with reports?
In November 1998?
Yes.
The issue of reports became really a big issue on or about that time.
Okay, but even prior to that time, at least you were aware, weren't you, from Dr. Lazaroff, that preliminary reports were required for certain situations abroad and even in the United States?
But prior to that time, the major complaints were not involving the reports. They were really involved with the way the study was being handled by Dr. Chi. That was the major complaint prior to that time.
Okay.
The major complaint was not the report aspect.
Okay.
Up to that time.
But when you say that the major complaint was the way that the study was being handled by Dr. Chi, is it relative to those 5 or 6 things that you told me about? Not following the time frame, taking too long, soft tissue problems, excess cement?
Yes, there was one other problem also that was mentioned that I recollect, and that is that the possibility existed that some faculty at USC who were heavily involved with the Branymark implant might be involved in trying to cause some problems with Dr. Lazaroff's implant.
Okay. And what specifically did he tell you about the faculty involved with Branymark?
The specifics was a case involving a friend, or I believe a maid, of Dr. Mark Handelsman, in which he referred that patient to the school, and that patient was treated with I believe he referred the patient to the school, and that patient became part of the study, and a Sargon implant was placed on that patient, in that patient's mouth. And Dr. Lazaroff was worried that Dr. Handelsman might do something to cause a problem with that implant, because Handelsman was known to be a big Branymark fan.
Okay. Any other faculty that Dr. Lazaroff mentioned might be a proponent of the Branymark implant?
And do something adverse to the study, or just a fan of the Branymark implant?
You mentioned just broadly that there were some complaints about certain USC faculty being tied to the Branymark implant in some way. So in any regard, it doesn't matter just relating to the study.
No, what he said was that Dr. Lazaroff had complained to him, expressed a concern that people who may be affiliated with Branymark may do something to affect the study. Your question now appears to be, is there anybody else who's a Branymark fan, and not that it may have an impact on the study?
All right. What do you recall about anything that was said about faculty being affiliated or a fan of the Branymark system?
On or about this time, Dr. Lazaroff became concerned that Winston himself might be involved with the Branymark people, and that became a concern of Dr. Lazaroff.
Okay. Did you have discussions with Dr. Lazaroff about that issue?
We had discussions.
Okay, and do you recall what was said?
Just what I said to you.
And what did you respond?
That I believed that probably wasn't the case, because up to that point, all of the implants in the study were proven successful.
Okay. Did USC have an exclusive contract with Branymark at any time?
Yes, we did.
Okay, and during what period of time?
Early in my deanship, I established an exclusive arrangement with the Branymark company, and the reason for that was, at the time, that was the only conventional implant that had longitudinal studies, long-term studies, and the fact that we were starting to do implants at the School of Dentistry, and I was concerned that if there was ever any problems with patients with implants, that we had an arrangement with a company that had a very good long-term results. And the Branymark implant at that time had the best literature and best overall results of anything out there on the market.
Okay, so you said early in your deanship, so that would be around, what, 1991 or 1992?
Yeah, I would guess that arrangement started 92, 93, somewhere around that time.
And how long did that exclusive arrangement last, if you recall?
I believe, this is a guess, 3 to 4 years.
Okay, was that arrangement then was not in place at the time that you left USC, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And do you recall ever having a discussion with Dr. Lazaroff that if the results of this particular Sargon implant were good, proven over a period of time that USC would consider entering into a similar arrangement with Sargon Enterprises.
Yes,
Let me object. You said results of the implant. Did you mean results of the study?
Yeah, implant study.
yes, I certainly did.
Okay, and so you had that discussion with Dr. Lazaroff at some time.
I did.
When did you have that discussion?
Dr. Lazaroff and I had that discussion on numerous occasions.
Okay, was that after the study had commenced or before? The first one you had.
I don't recall the first discussion.
Okay, and you said on numerous occasions.
Yes.
Can you tell me generally what you said to Dr. Lazaroff?
That I was so excited about this implant, and especially the implant being developed by a USC graduate, and that this implant was so different and unique than any other implant, that if the results of the study concluded that the implant was what it was claimed to be, that that I would most definitely consider the implant being the exclusive implant at USC.
Okay. Do you recall telling him that the period that you were thinking about for the performance of the implant in a positive way being 1 year, that's something that that an exclusive arrangement would be something USC would consider?
1 year
From the time the study commenced.
I'm sorry, your last comment.
From the time the study commenced.
I said it, but also said that it would be wonderful if there were multi-center studies such as the one that we were doing at USC, because with multi-center studies going using the same protocol as we were using at USC, it would have much more validity and reliability relative to the implant.